Hi, boys and girls. This week in Social Studies, we'll be covering Chapter 2, Lesson 4. Today, we're going to be looking at Part 1. Before we get started, I'd like you to look at the three depictions on this beginning slide. There's one of Native Americans sitting around a campfire in the evening. This is where they shared stories of their past, historical events, legends about people, places, and events in their culture. There's also a book cover of the Song of Hiawatha. It was a very long poem written by famous writer Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. All right, you're going to listen and watch this slideshow, and then you're going to complete the work on slide 5. So here we go. Gifts from the tribes. Think about this while you read. Do the tribes still touch our lives today? Probably, right? Stories and legends. Do you like a good story? The tribes do. They gave us some fine stories and legends. They tell legends and history to their children. This way, they keep facts and stories about their past alive. Long ago, the tribes did not use paper. They joined around campfires. There, they told about the past. In their tradition, winter was a time to share in this way. Some of their legends are now written for all of us to read. The Ojibwe tell a legend about a man who did magic. He also did tricks on people. In the 1820s, Henry Schoolcraft heard this story. Mr. and Mrs. Schoolcraft lived in the Upper Peninsula. Henry's wife, Jane, was an Ojibwe. She helped him gather stories from her tribe. The Schoolcrafts felt the need to write these stories. They did not want the legends to be forgotten over time. Later, a famous writer read these stories. He was Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He was not from Michigan, and he was not a Native American either. Longfellow changed one legend to sound like a long poem. He also changed the name of the hero to Hiawatha. We're not sure why he did this, but he called what he wrote the Song of Hiawatha. Many people liked his poem. In it, Hiawatha's grandmother sends him to find an evil warrior. Hiawatha goes off in his canoe. When the two men meet, there was a big fight. This warrior was strong and protected by a coat made of seashells. At first, Hiawatha could not hurt him. Then a woodpecker speaks to him. The bird tells him where to aim his arrows. In the end, Hiawatha wins. Indian legends often have an animal with magical powers. This talking bird is an example. There was a real man named Hiawatha. He lived in the 1500s. He was not from Michigan. The real Hiawatha was a leader of the Mohawk tribe. He taught how to plant crops and heal the sick. All right, guidelines to live by. The tribes know people need rules to live by. All of us do, right? Some legends include rules. One of those was the 7 grandfathers and the little boy. The story starts long ago. At the time, the Ojibwe had many problems, and people were often sick. The legend tells of 7 spirits. They were called the 7 grandfathers. These spirits are to watch over the earth's people. The young boy was brought to the 7 grandfathers. They want the boy to help the earth's people. Each spirit gives the boy a gift of wisdom. He is to go back to his tribe. Then he will share the things he learned. And in this yellow category, box-like on page 72 is where I'm at. Here are the gifts they gave to the boy. 1, to seek knowledge is to know wisdom. 2. To know love is to know peace. 3. To honor all creation is to have respect. 4. Bravery is to face the enemy with honor. 5. Honesty to face a tough problem is to be brave. 6. Humility is to know yourself as a sacred part of creation. And 7. Truth is to know all of these things. So they were sort of a guideline and a code to sort of live by and remember as you're facing tough times. As otters guide the boy back home, an otter, because of this, the otter is still a very special to the Ojibwe. The trip is a long one. By the time the boy returned, he is an old man. When he tells the wisdom given to him, after that, the tribes have less sickness and live better lives. So, kind of interesting, right? To learn more about the legends, talk to a Native American. Find out who really knows about them. Perhaps your class may visit the National Native American Center. One of them is in Nokomis Learning Center in Okemos. And Okemos is a suburb of Lansing, boys and girls. There's another one in Mount Pleasant. Its name is Zinbiringer Center. Okay, that's where I'm going to end today. I will pick up with part 2 on Thursday, and I'll start with part 2, which starts with page 73. All right, now you're going to go to slide 5 and answer these questions. In 3 complete sentences, answer the essay question. In your own words, explain the legend of the 7 grandfathers. Now you can go back to page 71 and 72 on slides 3 and 4 and watch the video again if you want to, or reread those slides to put in your own words what the legend of the 7 grandfathers is. And then there's 2 questions at the bottom. The first one is, what famous poem did Henry Wadsworth Longfellow write? And the last one, where did Native Americans usually retell or share their legends? All right, that's all for now, boys and girls.